afternoon, everyone. I'm Senior Romero. As you all know, I like the outdoors, and with outdoors come sports, and when it comes to sports, everyone knows that I love soccer. Okay. But unfortunately with soccer come injuries, and with injuries, some injuries are preventable. Most of the common ones that happen are because people don't wear the protective gear. But the most important topic with today is, should athletes always wear protective equipment, the proper protective equipment, when actively involved in that sport? Now, through my personal history, I've seen a lot of injuries, but in doing my research, I also found out that this is actually more common than I thought. A lot of athletes injure themselves so simply without their protective gear. But I feel that it's imperative and so important to bring awareness to this issue in order to decrease the risk. In little injuries that later evolve to some more serious ones. First, today we're going to talk about some problems that come with not wearing the proper protective equipment. Some possible causes on the reason why some athletes don't wear them. And last but not least, how we could all be part of the solution in order to minimize this. Now, to understand the importance of protective equipment, we first have to see where the problem starts. Now, according to the Sarah Jane Brain Foundation, pediatric acquired brain injury is one of the leading causes to youth and young adulthood head trauma. Now, to be more specific, according to the Center for Disease Control Prevention, over 765,000 Americans go to the ER due to head trauma. More specifically, 80,000 of those are hospitalized, and over 11,000 of those die annually. With some of the main sports, we have football, soccer, rugby, baseball, softball, and hockey. Some of the most common sports. But most of all, some of the most common forgotten gear are the eyewear, helmets, the protective pads, mouth guards, and the proper footwear or athletic shoes. Now, it's not always just about the problems with forgetting your gear. We also have to focus on some of the reasons why athletes don't wear the gear. Now, some people, like myself, are often late to practice or games, so sometimes I forget, so I'm in a hurry. Also, most commonly during practice, you feel you don't need everything at that moment because it's just practice, it's not that serious. But you realize that when you get hurt, it's too late. You didn't wear it, so now you're hurt. And sometimes some equipment is such a hassle to put on that you're just like, oh, I don't need it. So sometimes it's just too much of a hassle, so you just forget it. But with whatever the reasons are that people forget to wear that they don't wear the gear, we all must work together in order to reduce the extent of the injuries, and we should be a part of the solution. Now, it all starts with ourselves. Most importantly, we are number one in our lives, so I must take care of me, you must take care of you. Next are the parents. For your kids, you must make sure that your kids have the proper equipment, the gear, and that they wear it. Now, you can't always keep an eye on your kids when you drop them off in practice, but you can just make sure that they have it and they take it with them. Now, once they're there and you drop off your kids, the next important person would be the coaches. The coaches are so important to this. Make sure that the players are safe to their ability, because you don't want to lose a player because they got hurt in practice when you're about to have an important game. And last but not least, also your teammates and one another. You have to look out for one another, because after all, it's all about one team, and you want everyone to be there in order to to help in your game. You all have to put in. So just remember that it's very important from the causes. Just keep in mind the causes on what can happen if you don't wear protective gear. We also went over some of the causes, reasons why athletes don't wear them. They forget, or they're in a hurry, or it's too much of a hassle. And we also went over who can be part of the solution in order to minimize the risk. Do I have any questions? Leading injury in females? Okay, according to the Children's Hospital in Boston, and this is not related to not wearing protective gear, it is stress fractures, and that's due to the repetitive high impact for women.
Do you believe all injuries are preventable with protective gear?
No, absolutely not. I think that not all injuries are preventable, but we can minimize the extent of that injury if you wear proper protective gear.
Okay, what equipment do you often wear?
For me, I often forget to wear, during practice, I usually never ever wear my shin guards. Ever. But I always regret it because I always get hurt, but every time I go back to practice, I still don't wear them. But it shouldn't take that for other people in order to realize that you need to wear it. So, I want to thank you all for your time. You guys have a lovely evening. And remember that we all must be a part of the solution and bring awareness. And we have to be all committed to providing the best protection that we can to all athletes at all levels. Thank you.